and you can get started.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks so much for being here today. I'm Kinsey, and I'm with Sam Houston State University. I'm an admissions counselor, and I serve the Central Texas and Fort Worth regions, and I'm actually also serving the Panhandle as well. So I kind of got my hands in a lot of different places in the state of Texas. I was actually born in Round Rock, so if some of you guys might be familiar with that place. And I just recently graduated from Texas State with a Bachelor's of Science in Sociology. And I currently actually live in Huntsville. So I live here, I'm working on campus. And so hopefully I get to see you all soon when you come here, hopefully in the fall of 2021. To give you some information about Sam Houston, just the history, we were actually founded in 1879. At that time, we were an education school, so we were the Sam Houston Normal Institute. That was the first teacher training school in the Southwestern United States. And at that time, it was actually only open to women, which is super awesome. We were not renamed to Sam Houston State University until 1969. And the motto that we kind of live by here at Sam Houston is that the measure of life is its service. What that means for students, for employees, for staff members, is really that there's a lot of organizations here on campus that we love to get involved with the local Huntsville community. We're all about making sure that we're taking care of one another and providing those services when someone is in need. So we really take that to heart here while on campus. Just some kind of cat facts, because we are the Bearcats. We are the 12th largest public university in Texas. I think a lot of people think that Huntsville and Sam Houston is out in the middle of nowhere. And we are a pretty large university. We have the statistic down at the bottom says 21,000, but it's up to about 22, almost 23,000 students that are enrolled here at any given time at Sam Houston. I like to say that we're kind of located in a really awesome spot. We're about an hour away from Houston. We're about 45 minutes to an hour from College Station. We're about 2.5 hours to Austin and about the same to Dallas as well. So we're kind of close to all of the major cities in Texas. We're also ranked #1 in placing students in the Texas workforce within 12 months of graduation. This is a huge statistic that I like to share, and it's something that most students don't really think about until like junior, senior year. I know I was one of those where I was getting close to graduation and I was like, well, I have to get a job. So what am I going to do? Sam Houston really takes pride in making sure that we take care of you while you're here at school and in these classes, but also when you were graduated. And we're also in the top 10%, and we've been top 5 for the past 5 years for the best colleges for the money in Texas. So you get the same quality education as any of those major Texas schools for a better price. So going into talking a little bit about some of the fields of study, some of those majors that you could do here at Sam Houston. The first is for the College of Business Administration. In this college, there's 12 different undergraduate programs that you can choose, whether that's accounting, marketing, finance, even supply chain management, which has been really popular because of COVID. So that's where supply chain management you would be dealing with when people were making mask productions and hand sanitizers and gloves. That is kind of the job that you would be doing. So that has been an increasingly popular major here, especially this semester. Another really cool thing that we have within the College of Business Administration is we have the only PGA golf management program in the state of Texas. If you decide to do this program, once you complete your undergrad, you can have the opportunity to run and manage any golf course within the United States. In our Business Administration College, we're also AACSB accredited. So this is an accreditation that employers are going to be looking for when you're applying to jobs. As a business major. It's something that not every college has, and we choose to have it to set you up for success when you graduate. Going on, the College of Criminal Justice, now that is by far our most popular college. About a quarter of the students that are enrolled here are in some sort of criminal justice major. There's a lot of different classes that you can take in cybersecurity, homeland security, forensic science, pre-law, victim studies. So whatever you're interested in within that criminal justice field, we pretty much have a class for you. If you're interested in kind of a pre-law program, we also have an on-campus courtroom. So you can do mock trials, and sometimes Walker County actually has an overflow, and that goes to our campus. And so professors will often let students miss class and go watch a live courtroom session going on. Going on to the College of Education. So like I had mentioned when we first started, we were an education school. So our College of Education is another popular program here. Something that I like to mention is we have this program called the 4+1. So what that is you would get your undergraduate degree. Then we would actually pay you to get your master's in education. And then in 5 years, you would have your undergrad, a master's, and a teaching certification. So it's something to definitely think about if you are interested in becoming a teacher and working in the education sector. And we are also nationally and state accredited. Again, this is something that we choose to do to just better help our students. Lastly, for this page is the College of Arts and Media. This is where you're going to find anything from graphic design to photography to photojournalism, studio art. And this is also one of the only colleges where you're going to have additional information to provide after you've been accepted. So if you're looking to major in dance or musical theater or theater, you would actually have to do an audition. This is something that once you've been accepted, an advisor will contact you, and then you can get your audition scheduled and set up. Next, we have the College of Health Sciences. So this is where you're going to find your kinesiology, your physical therapy, athletic training, and also nursing. Our nursing program has a 100% passing rate. This is really popular for a lot of students. And what you would actually do is spend your first 2 years on campus at Sam Houston in Huntsville. And then once you pass your nursing exam, you would actually then go to the Woodlands location. So that would be our Woodlands school, and that's where you would finish out your nursing degree. For the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, this was a college I was involved in at Texas State. This is where you're going to find anything from psychology, sociology, history, English, your languages. And then we also have a program called Integrated Studies, which will allow you to actually pick 3 different minors. And you would do a capstone class your senior year, and then that would be your one major. So you would major in Integrated Studies, but have your hands kind of in different areas if you can't really narrow down on one specific topic for a major. And then lastly, the last college that we have is the College of Science and Engineering Technology. This is where you're going to find your ag classes, your hard sciences like chemistry, biology, physics, animal science. If you're looking to do pre-veterinarian programs, this is where you would find that. And then also one thing to mention, it is a little bit different, but instead of, if you're interested in forensic science, that has become more of a popular major as of late, you would actually, it would be best advised that you would actually be in the College of Science and Engineering Technology, and you would major in forensic chemistry. And then once you graduate with your undergrad, then you can go and get your master's in forensic science. The forensics chemistry program isn't under the College of Criminal Justice for some reason. It is under this college. So if that's something that you're interested, that is kind of where you'll find your information for forensic chemistry. Going on to the campus life and culture. As a first year freshman, you would be required to live on campus. So there's 14 different residence halls to choose from. There's 2 that are just only women, if that's something that pertains to you. And then it's going to just vary in price depending on the style of dorm that you choose, the location, and all of that. There's also these wonderful things called learning communities. This is something that I encourage first year students to participate in. It gives you the chance to live and take classes with other students who have similar interests as you. So there's usually always a pre-law learning community, there's a nursing learning community, there's a first gen learning community. It just allows you the opportunity to meet people and to kind of have those similar experiences with your peers. And then also you do, because you are going to be living on campus, you are also required to have a meal plan. There's 2 dining halls and 2 retail dining centers on campus. So a lot of students really love going to Chick-fil-A. That's the most popular one. Steak and Shake, Panda Express. There's a pizza place. We also have a bowling alley. So a lot of students like to go take a study break, get some food, and then go bowl for a little while. So it's a lot of fun. Just continuing for campus life and culture, recreational sports. So our rec center is awesome. There is a giant rock wall that you can do, of course, workout machines. You can take classes. There's also intramural and club sports. I was in intramural sports. I had the best time ever. I was in volleyball and softball. It was just a good chance to meet new people, to have a lot of fun and to kind of take your mind off of the academic side of college. There's some student activities like our welcome week. So that's going to be the first week of the spring and the fall semester. It's just going to be every single day, almost every hour, some sort of event going on for you to get involved on campus and again, to meet new people. And then some of the traditions that we have here that are really cool is our Battle of the Piney Woods. It is our biggest football event between us and SFA. And then we also have the Tree of Light ceremony. That's actually usually takes place around like November, December, and it's just the lighting of a giant tree. A lot of different other programs come and perform. So our spirit team actually comes and performs, the band performs, and it's just a lot of fun to kind of meet new people and to hang out and experience, the culture here on campus. And then lastly, there's also over 265 student organizations. Again, this is something that I recommend getting involved. Find a club, find an organization that you're interested in, whether that be a fraternity or sorority, a faith-based organization. If you're really into Harry Potter and like Quidditch, that's an option too. There is tons of different organizations, and I can't even begin to explain how many we have in all of the different categories. I even think there's a rock, paper, scissors club. If you can't, for whatever reason, find an organization that you're interested in, you can always start your own. One of my good friends actually started his own club at Texas State called the Outdoors Club. And it's the same kind of process here at Sam Houston. So it's always something to think about, but definitely getting involved is what I highly recommend for first year students. And then probably one of the most popular things that I get asked and that students are really excited about is about study abroad. So the study abroad really depends on your major and the classes that you would be required to take, but pretty much regardless of what you're doing, you can find a program to study abroad if that's what you're wanting to do. Some of the top destinations that you can see here are Costa Rica, South Korea, Switzerland, Ireland is also on there as well. So if this is something that you're interested in, you can definitely make it happen. There's also financial aid and scholarships that are just specifically geared towards study abroad programs. So you can actually go study abroad in a different country and actually have it paid for. And then going back to what I had mentioned before about our motto, the measure of life is its service, there's some different community-based organizations that we have here in different events. So Bearcat All Calls In and the academic community engagement. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely check it out. The Bearcat All Calls In is a really wonderful organization and event that we do here. Just volunteering at different places around Huntsville, whether that be the homeless shelter, the animal shelter, all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely what we do here and what we take pride in at Sam Houston. Some of the services and resources that are going to be available to you is our Academic Success Center. So if you need help writing an English paper or a big research essay, this is where you can go to get that help and that assistance. You can also get help with any of your math classes that you have. They also help out with some sciences as well. You would just have to kind of ask depending on what class that you're taking. And there's also this really cool thing called peer mentoring. So you can actually get paired with an upperclassman here that they can kind of show you the ropes and kind of guide you through that first year here as a student. Another really cool thing that we have is the Student Money Management Center. I think a lot of students don't realize that this is available to them. And it's a really wonderful resource. It's outside of the Financial Aid and Scholarships Department. And what this department does here on campus is it helps you set up your financial planning. So it helps you figure out a whole plan on how to pay for college and how to budget your money, as well as what to do whenever you get out and how to repay some of those loans back if that pertains to you and if you accrue any kind of student debt. Other services and resources is we have our Student Health Center. So we have the clinic, we have the pharmacy, a dentist office. We also have counseling centers. You can get individual counseling, couples counseling. You can also get roommate counseling. Some students will actually go and do that. So those appointments fill up really quickly. So if that's something that you're interested in, I would definitely recommend scheduling those as soon as possible. And then also we also have the services for students with disabilities. So if a student is needing any kind of assistance, they would just fill out forms and paperwork for the disabilities department. And then their professors will kind of work with them on whatever accommodations that they're needing throughout the semester. We are NCAA Division I in terms of athletics. We're in the Southland Conference. Um, in 2019, we claimed 7 championships, including 5 men's titles. And then we won the Commissioner's Cup for the second straight year in 2019. So we have a lot of different athletic programs, and it's always fun to go out to the sporting events when we have them outside of course, COVID. So it's something to kind of keep in mind. And of course, that Battle of the Piney Woods is our biggest football game of the year. So now that we've talked about some of the fun stuff, we'll go on to the admissions and how to actually get into Sam Houston. So first, what you're going to want to do is fill out an application through Apply Texas. This is the best way to fill out the application. And then once you fill the application and submit it, you will be asked to pay a $50 non-refundable application fee. If for whatever reason you can't pay this, you can always ask your high school counselor for a fee waiver, and they can submit that to us, so that way you don't have to pay that $50. After that's been complete, you would submit your official high school transcript. You can either do that by mail or by just sending it electronically. Electronically is the best way. It gets here faster, it gets your admissions process in quicker, and it gives you the decision a lot faster as well. And then lastly, you would submit your SAT or ACT scores. This year is looking a little bit different. So because of COVID, we are test optional. And so you can kind of decide if you want to send your test scores and leave that out or not. If I know a lot of students had sent their test scores back in March when they took that SAT exam. So if we already have your SAT scores or ACT scores on file, we will use that into consideration. We'll take that into consideration when we're looking over your application. But if you haven't sent any test scores and you just want to be evaluated based off of your GPA, that's totally fine. You can just submit your transcript and that would make you complete for your admissions process. This is going to be a table that's going to show you the freshman admissions requirements and the breakdown. Some of this has changed in regarding to the test optional, so I would recommend going to the Sam Houston State website specifically for admissions and freshman admissions. There you're going to find the most updated table and information on this. If you are above a 3.0, I know, and you don't submit a test score, you are automatically accepted. So it's something to kind of look at on the website, but this is going to show you basically the breakdown of the GPAs and the test scores that you would need in order to be automatically admitted into Sam Houston. This is for our transfer students. So if you are thinking about maybe starting at a community college or just thinking about transferring later on into the university, this is kind of what you would need. Transferring into the university is so easy. All you have to do is apply. It says 45 on there, but it's actually $50 now. So you would just apply and then submit your transcripts, your college transcripts. You don't have to submit any test scores. You don't have to submit your high school transcripts. All we want is your college transcript if you went to a community college. And then this is going to show you kind of the little table at the bottom will show you those GPAs and how many hours that you would need in order to be automatically admitted. These are going to be some dates to keep in mind. So if you're applying for fall of 2021, that deadline is August 1st. If you're applying for a spring semester, that's always pretty much going to be December 1st. And then if you're applying for a summer semester, that's going to be May 15th. These dates don't really change. They're pretty much always consistent. And Sam Houston has what is called a rolling application. And so our applications are open pretty much all year round. So they don't close, like I said, until August 1st, and they open in July, usually for that fall semester, which most of you will probably be applying for. I always tell students, though, I recommend getting in your information as soon as possible and not waiting until August 1st. The longer that you wait, the more difficult it is for you to get your freshman checklist completed. There's a couple different steps that you have to take once you have been admitted into the university in order for you to register for classes and be enrolled in here. So I definitely recommend that if you're interested in Sam Houston to get your application submitted as soon as possible. Next, this is just kind of the estimated cost breakdown of tuition and what that would be. Really what to focus on, especially for that freshman year, is the tuition, the residence hall, and meal plans. The residence, all three of those though, are going to be subject to change depending upon how many classes that you're taking. the residence hall that you decide to choose, the meal plan that you decide to choose. And so that number of $9,000, that can go up or down just depending on a couple different factors. And this is also the cost before any kind of financial aid and scholarships. Also, this cost breakdown, as you can see, is based off of if you're taking 12 hours a semester. One thing that I do want to point out is the books and supplies cost. $500 is, to me, I think that is incredibly high. I don't think when I was in school, I ever paid that much at all. But we also have this new program called the Bearcat Bundle. And so what that's going to be is it's going to already be attached to your student account. And what that is depending upon how many classes that you're taking that semester, you would get all of your books and your supplies for a fixed rate. So right now it's $23.75 per credit. So just to give you kind of a price breakdown of what you're looking at, if you were taking 12 credit hours, you would be paying $285 for books, and that's all of your books for all your classes. If you're taking 15 hours, it would be $356, and if you're taking 18 hours, it would be $427. Of course, you can either opt in or opt out each semester. Some professors don't provide a book. They don't tell you that you need one, or some professors just give you the book for free. So that is something that kind of you can decide once you get here and get enrolled in classes. But our Bearcat Bundle program is really wonderful, and it just kind of takes that price down a lot for students. So now that we talked about the glorious slide of paying money, of paying for school, this is how you can assist in paying. There is a couple different things that you can do within financial aid. You can get grants, which are just gifts. You don't have to pay those back. Same thing with scholarships. Loans, you do have to pay those back. And then you can also do a work study. So in the admissions office here, we have tons of different student workers that actually work here. They get a paycheck every 2 weeks, and they helps them pay for school and the different things that they do around campus. So it's something to consider. And then once you are accepted, you have access to the database of scholarships for CATS. What that is you fill out a one-time streamlined application, you answer some questions, and then you are eligible for over 600 different scholarships. The Financial Aid and Scholarships Department will actually pair you up based off of the questions that you answered with some specific scholarships that they think that you have the highest chance of getting. So that's something that is, free and accessible to each and every student that gets accepted. And it just makes kind of applying for scholarships a little bit easier. So we have on here that priority deadline is November 1st. What that means is pretty much the sooner that you get in all your information, the more money you have access to. So that's why I recommend applying now and getting all of your information in, so that way you can get your financial aid going and get some scholarships, hopefully. If you're interested in visiting campus, you can actually do a online visit with a visitor center. And we actually just started doing in-person tours as well. So that's something that if you're interested, you can schedule that on the website. We also have a couple events. We just had our first Saturday of SAM just 2 weekends ago. I'm not exactly sure when the next Saturday at SAM is going to be, but that's just kind of a campus preview day. So students and families will come here. There's different booths that are set up from different departments, and then you can ask general questions and just kind of walk around campus and see campus a little bit more as well. So I would definitely kind of keep on that and keep checking back on the website to see if we have another Saturday at SAM event. I've been kind of hearing that we might do another one in the coming weeks. So yeah, if you're interested in applying for SAM Houston, definitely visit our website and give us a look. If you have any questions at all, again, my name is Kinsey. You can reach me either by my work cell phone or by my email at it's Kinsey, Kinsey @ shsu.edu. Thank you guys so much.